Hey everyone, Miles here. This is going to sting me a little bit, but I'm going to go there. I'm going to do it. I took about 6 or 7 weeks off of social media over Christmas, which was really nice because it meant I had a lot of time to just connect with family and be really present with Sati and Sage and Zen. And over Christmas, I was really lucky that I got to do Joe Dispenza's online progressive retreat. And over Christmas, I've been meditating, doing these meditations, sort of sometimes 2 hours a day. And now I'm back on the road. I'm still doing 2 hours a day. And one of the things that has come up for me from doing Joe Dispenza's work, and if you're not familiar with Joe Dispenza, he wrote a great book called Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. He's wrote other great books as well. But one of the things that's come up for me is about how much in my life I have been almost married to a story of limitation. I have, for those of you that don't know my journey, don't know my story, raised by my mum, council estate in Birmingham. Dad was not there. And that story I've allowed to effectively define pretty much my whole life. I have pretty consistently taken big leaps forward in my life. I'm very lucky that I'm married to the girl of my dreams. I've got two beautiful children. I get the honor and the privilege of speaking on stages all around the country. I've delivered hundreds of events and I'm really honored. I've had my own businesses, and for most people would say that from the background I had, have done well. But I guess let me ask a question, and then it brings you into the conversation. So this is not just all about me. Have you ever had a time in your life where on the outside everything seems great, but on the inside you feel like something's missing? Well, I would say for the vast majority of my life, I have not appreciated or fully enjoyed any of the things that I've achieved. Tony Robbins has got a great saying: success without fulfillment is the ultimate failure. I have spent most of my adult life comparing, competing, seeking the external validation and approval of other people. I've spent most of my life taking a step or two forward and then pulling back. Step forward, pull back. Step forward, pull back. Start a business, stop something. Start a series of vlogs, stop the series of vlogs. And that has been a constant prevalent pattern in my life. And the thing is, one of the things I've learned about myself, and I believe I know now about the human experience, is we know what we know about ourselves. We know what we don't know about ourselves, but we don't know what we don't know. And what I didn't know that I didn't know was that there was a deeply prevalent pattern in me that ultimately needed to be changed. Firstly, needed to be accepted, and I needed to become aware of it like a blind spot. And the second thing is I then needed to make some decisions and some actions to change it. And of all the personal development that I've done over the past 12 to 15 years, and I've been really honored to be like attend events with Tony Robbins and all kinds of stuff. For me personally, the biggest breakthrough has happened for me from the work of Joe Dispenza. I have dabbled with meditation for years. I have, Tony Robbins always talking about state, and I'm the first person to work out every single day. I'm the first person to just randomly start doing burpees if I feel like I drop out of state. But what I haven't done is spent the time to sit with myself and my own thoughts and become aware of them, and become aware of the parts of me that I've maybe held shame around, guilt around, fear of how I'll be judged and perceived around. And it wasn't till I started to do Dr. Joe's meditations that things started to change. And if you're one of those people, by the way, this is a really interesting one. I used to be the person that would say, I can't meditate. And by the way, if you're one of those people that says I can't meditate, Dr. Joe explains it brilliantly. The way that I explain it is like this. If you go to the gym to work out, often people say they can't meditate, and I say, how long did you try? And they say 10 minutes. And I go, right, okay. If you go to the gym for 10 minutes, you probably just about warm up, right? And then you start the workout. So I realize for meditation to work, I have to sit long enough in uncomfortable feelings to rise above the uncomfortable feelings, which is why his meditations are like 45 minutes, an hour long, and why his retreats are like 5 hours of meditation a day and all this kind of stuff. So this, for me, is really a video for anybody who deep down doesn't fully accept themselves, deep down knows deep down that they compare themselves to other people, deep down like makes themselves feel bad for unconsciously for seemingly no reason. And this is deep down for anybody who feels like they're not fulfilling their true potential. And one of the other things I've learned from Dr. Joe is how we have to mentally rehearse the emotions that we want to feel on a daily basis. Let me explain. Dr. Joe basically gives this example of when you book a holiday, you may feel when you book the holiday some feelings like dopamine, joy, excitement, anticipation, the exact feelings that you probably would expect would only feel when you arrive at the airport or get off the plane or arrive at the hotel, right? And his work has, and over the past 5 weeks, I've been training myself to feel more gratitude, to feel more joy. Because the amazing thing is this, I've intellectualized gratitude till I'm blue in the face. Oh, I'm grateful for this, I'm grateful for that, blah, 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 right? But most of the time, for the past, I'd say 10 years, I have lived in a low vibration. And actually, the only time I've ever maybe lived in a higher vibration is if something in the outside world is activating those emotions. So holidays, speaking on stage, higher highs will bring out the joy and the excitement, the enthusiasm in me. But normally, baseline, low vibration. And it wasn't until I did Joe's retreat over Christmas that I realized that I've been living more often than not in a low vibration. And so the reason I'm sharing this with you is because if you're a person that feels, if you're really honest with yourself, that you're the kind of person that is fixated with, when I achieve that, or I'm making that much money, or I'm in that place, then I'll be great. You got to let all that go. You've got to let all that go. Now, that doesn't mean let goals go. That's not what I'm saying. But you've got to let go this fixation with an outcome. Because I've been fixated on outcomes, achieving, recognition, all this kind of bullshit. And I've realized that every goal I've ever achieved has never fully lit me up. And over Christmas, I have cried more than I've ever cried in my life. And it's been me mourning that part of me that has been obsessing about the next moment rather than, as Joe Dispenza call it, appreciating the now, the generous present moment, as he calls it. I have been so unconscious. So much time have I missed with my kids, with my wife, that I've been there, but I've not emotionally been there. And that's what I've cried about. And now I feel grateful that I'm still here and I've got another chance to get it right. And by get it right, I don't mean like there's something wrong with me or there's something wrong with you, but what I mean is that we've got to recognize that getting things will not make you happy. And you may have heard the cliched life's a journey, not a destination, but I'm telling you this: if you know that, if you're really honest with yourself, over a 24-hour period, if you're not living in joy and enthusiasm and excitement more than not, you're fixated